Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to those of you who are joining us here in our sanctuary. Welcome to all of you who are joining us online as well. Our services today will begin on page 88. Page 88, and if you would like to stand for lighting the candles. Ha'am ha'holchim b'choshech ra'u or gadol. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. In the past week, some have known sorrow or disappointment, and for some, the future looks far from bright. Let this Sabbath be an oasis of quietness. To the lonely, may it bring companionship, to the sorrowing comfort, to the spirited courage, to all of us peace of mind and hope for the future. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, vetzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Please be seated. There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own.
On the Sabbath, we wish not to
acquire,
but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed.
On the Sabbath, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we think only of ourselves.
On the Sabbath, we open our hearts to the needs and rights of others.
And in honor of Purim, we bring you Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Purim starts next Wednesday. Don't worry, it's not quite yet Wednesday, but Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, a psalm for the day of Shabbat, to a very special tune.
מזמור של יום השבת, טוב להודות אדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, לחגית בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון, Simachtzani Adonai b'foalecha b'maaseh yadecha aranein Leyom HaShabbat Mizmor shir Leyom HaShabbat Magadlu
And we continue together on page 91 with Psalm 93. The Eternal One reigns in grandeur robed
and girded with strength.
The world stands firm.
It shall not be moved.
Your throne is established from of old.
For you are everlasting.
The oceans roar, eternal God, the thundering oceans roar.
The thundering oceans rage.
Yet greater than the roaring waves, mightier than the breaking seas.
You stand supreme on high.
Sure are the proofs of your power, O God.
And holiness adorns your house forever. L'chadoti likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela.
L'chadoti likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. שמו וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Could I invite you please to stand? We're at the bottom of page 92. Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. We praise the eternal one to whom our praise is due forever. Please be seated. And we'll continue together in Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליב את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, כולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. We continue together. Unending love have you shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May your love never depart from us. We praise you, O God, you love your people Israel. Please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Please be seated. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then full of joy, we sang together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh peleh, nora tehilot oseh peleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. And it has been said, the Eternal One has delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim, ufroz aleinu sukat shalomecha, v'takneinu b'etzah tova milfanecha, v'hoshienu l'man shemecha, v'hagen ba'deinu, v'haser me'aleinu oyev tever, v'cherev ra'av v'yagon, v'chahek mimeinu avon v'afesha, uvetel knafecha tasirenu, ki el shomreinu u'matzilenu ata, ki el-melech hanon v'rachum ata, u'shemot tzedteinu uvo'einu l'chaim We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth shall declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיי ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. You are holy, awesome is your name. We have no God but you. We praise you, eternal one, the holy God. Please be seated. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And together, our God and God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts that we may serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Retzeh Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'ahava tekabel, utehila ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yira na'avod. Modim anachnu lach, she'atah hu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu magen yishenu, atah hu ledor vador. Nodeh lecha u'nesaper tehilatecha, al chayenu hamesurim biyadecha, va'al nishmotenu hapkudot lach, va'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, va'al niflotecha v'tovotecha, shebachol et erev avoker v'tzohorayim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, u'lecha na'eh lehodot. And on this Shabbat, as we are all praying for peace especially, of course, for Ukraine, but for peace for our world, let us read together. Supreme source of peace, grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples may be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. We'll take some time for silent prayer. Of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O God, our rock and our Redeemer.
Ose shalom bimromav, oyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam.
May the Most High, source of perfect peace, grant peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. While Rabbi Aaron isn't with us in the sanctuary this evening, he is nonetheless with us, and so it's our pleasure to turn to Rabbi Aaron, coming to us from his home.
This week I found a photograph from 2019 of me leading Kiddush in the synagogue in Lutsk. On Facebook, the community posted photographs of volunteers delivering food to those in need and planting new shrubs in the gardens of their synagogue. This afternoon, I once more joined the community for Kabbalat Shabbat, for those who are unable to come out from their homes. It all seemed very normal, and they've done a marvellous job of keeping things as normal as possible. Just the small signs one can see on screen, tiredness on faces, and the tears welling in the eyes of a young mother as her daughter, a toddler in my first photo, jumps on her knee to see the English rabbi. This morning, news of the bombing of a military site on the outskirts of Lutsk. Anna, my friend, reported 2 dead and 6 injured. There is fear, but for now their focus is on Mariupol and villages, towns and cities facing a similar immediate onslaught. We may consider President Putin and his puppets to be inhuman. We may consider inhuman those that commit genocide on Uyghur Muslims and those who continue to fund slaughter in Yemen. They are not. They are human. A grotesque abomination of humanity, but nevertheless human. It is easy to lose faith in humanity. Sometimes the simple act and image of planting new shrubs in the gardens of synagogues, delivering food as usual to those in need, And of course, the immense hospitality of the countries and their citizens receiving unquestioningly tens and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees. This all reminds us of the good that we human beings are capable of. It is not easy to be a people that cleave to a faith, to a God that is intangible, unknowable. Yet we divine purpose and will. We have chosen to be together with good people, to celebrate a Jewish Sabbath, to pray and to sing, to hope, to be in community and in connection with Jewish communities and good people throughout the world, to hear these words. The words which I now read, that you can find on page 220 of our Siddur Lev Chadash, were included in Service of the Heart. And before that, the Liberal Jewish Prayer Book of the Jewish Religious Union, first name of our movement that celebrates 120 years. Generations of liberal Jews have found them meaningful in multiple situations, as I do now. And then I will conclude with the words of Rabbi John Rayner, Zichrono Livracha. Eternal God, we humbly ask your help, for our need is great. Our days fly past in quick succession, and we cannot look back without regret or ahead without misgiving. We seek to understand the mysteries of sin and evil, but in vain. When suffering and death strike those we love, our pain and anger embitter us, and we question your justice. Our faith fails us, and we forget that we are your children. O God, make your presence felt among us. When our own weaknesses and the storms of life hide you from our sight, teach us to be patient, still to trust you, still to strive to do what we know to be right. When evil darkens our world, give us light. When despair numbs our souls, give us hope. When we stumble and fall, lift us up. And when doubts assail us, give us trust. When nothing seems sure, give us faith. And when ideals fade, renew our vision. When we lose our way, be our guide. So may we find peace in your presence and purpose in doing your will. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and I hope that you all feel this connection of a community coming together in this sanctuary, together in the small sanctuaries of your home, as we extend to Rabbi Aaron's home, but to the many homes of all of you who are joining us online, as we come together to try to keep the hope alive, to pray for peace, and to hope for a better future. And so I invite you, as you just feature on the live stream for a second, to stand, to turn to page 520 and to rise for Aleinu. And we recite together.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורר עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. The growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they are gone, the departed are with us. They inspire us to live as in their higher moments they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing. On this Shabbat, we think of those whose yahrzeit falls at this time. Brian Allen Black, the father of Caroline Sampson. Kit Harris, the grandmother of Sharon Goldstein and Phil Stone. Morris Rayner, the father of Jacqueline Newman. We are saddened by the recent deaths of Samuel Walpert, the father of Susanna Rose, Jane and Mark, and of Barry Matthias, the son of Maureen and brother of Graham. Zichronam livracha, may their memory be a source of comfort, as we recite together on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחי יחון וביום יחון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדה ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, ואמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם, ואמרו אמן. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, and to all those who mourn. Let us say, Amen. Please be seated. In just a moment, we are going to conclude with Shalom Aleichem, which, if you're following in the prayer book, is on page 76. So you can turn to that page already. Just a few announcements. As Rabbi Aaron mentioned in his sermon, we are celebrating 120 years of liberal Judaism. If you're not totally certain about the history of liberal Judaism and you want to learn more about the first 100 years, this is your chance. There are free copies out just outside the sanctuary. Pick one up as you leave. If you're watching online and you can't make it to shul, just let us know. I'm sure we can put one in the post for you as well, or put one to the side so that in future, on a future visit, you can pick up a copy. In honor of the 120th anniversary, we have a special education series on Wednesday evenings, and
this coming Wednesday actually this Wednesday there is no education series because it's Erev Purim, but the following week there will be a session in the block Liberal Jewish Practice, and there will be a session with Rabbi Aaron about Jewish marriage. So I'm sure it's going to be fantastic and really will be really wonderful to welcome as many of you as possible. For Purim, we are joining the congregations, Rabbi Mark Solomon's congregations, Edinburgh and Leicester, and we'll be joining it on Erev Motzei Purim. So it's not on Wednesday night, but it's on Thursday evening. If you're unsure about the timings, then just look on what's on and on the website or in your copy of the VAR. And I'm sure it'll be fantastic fun. This is the great advantage of the new age that we're in. Rabbi Aaron and I discovered that we really don't do Purim that well, and that Rabbi Mark does Purim really well. So instead of giving you second best, we are giving you best, and we'll be just joining you like ordinary congregants. We'll be joining you for the Purim celebrations. It is a bring your own beverage event, seeing it is going to be on Zoom. So it's promising to be a really fun evening that I hope you can join us for. Of course, do come back tomorrow for Helen's admission ceremony. Thank you for lighting the candles for us this evening. And also the bat mitzvah of Yasmin Jalali. We almost managed to time it to be really historic, because in the following week will be the 100th anniversary of the first ever bat mitzvah. I think when we scheduled the bat mitzvah, we didn't quite realize that we were missing it by 1 week, but almost. We'll have a second celebration the following week. So do join us tomorrow. And for now, we are going to conclude with Shalom Aleichem, and of course, a big thank you to Ruth, who's here on the bimah with me. Without her, we wouldn't have as much beautiful music. So wonderful to be together. And so we sing Shalom Aleichem on page 76.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachorani LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Bless us with peace, O messengers of the Most High, of the Supreme Sovereign, the Holy One, ever to be praised. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
And it's wonderful that we already have people joining us for Kiddush in our Kiddush Zoom room. And I think there's some wine coming around to your seats as well. We've deprived, I think, Ruth of any wine, or I'm terribly amiss. We'll get wine for Ruth also. But do join us. Rabbi Aaron managed to get changed really quickly. Looking much more casual in the Kiddush Zoom room than during the sermon. So we sing together Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תהילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת, אמן לחיים. And we say together the blessing over bread. Can we see some beautiful chalot from home? Yeah, there's some beautiful chalot from homecoming as well. And we say together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. Goodbye to our live stream and